Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Z Trigger Podcast. My name is William Hill.
Nah.
What?
I'm Brandon.
Domo arigato. Oh wait, that's thank you. Mushy mushy.
You're certainly welcome.
We thank you very much, Mr. Roboto, for doing just what nobody wants to.
What does
right?
nobody want
Giving
to do?
us a horrible album?
Nobody wants to listen to
That
Kilroy
is not a
here.
horrible album.
I've never heard the whole thing.
I
so I
can't. I can't. I just can't.
The rest of the album sounds nothing like Mr. Roboto.
It doesn't matter. The song's there. I can never listen to the full album because it's there.
Why do you hate Mr. Roboto so much? I mean, it's cheesy, but it's not terrible.
It's not very good either.
Well, I didn't say it was good, but...
The one bad thing about that album, the music videos.
Oh my, yeah.
With James Young and the Panazzo brothers dancing
Oh, God.
Man,
during heavy metal poisoning.
that's... That is certainly a thing I need to unthink. I'm going to unthink that by talking about video games.
The video game of Kilroy was here.
Things I would not be shocked if they existed is Kilroy was here, the video game. I mean, after all, Journey had a video game.
Why not?
Here's the thing that I don't get. Why would anybody want to play the Journey video game?
Because they really like Journey.
Because they saw Tron, and Tron had Journey playing in the background, and it was about arcade games. Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry, but you've not convinced me of the reason why that game exists.
Well, at least it wasn't a Toto video game. We can thank God for that.
That game can go right straight to
the video
Africa.
game.
You ruined my joke.
Africa, the video game.
Sounds racist.
It does. Congratulations.
We have now become a Trump-approved podcast. Oh, well, anyway, what kind of games you guys been playing this past 2 weeks since we last recorded? Sorry, again, last week was very busy for us folks, so we're going to be talking about 2 weeks' worth of news, which totally feels like 1 week worth of news.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Why is that so expensive? Go on.
Okay.
I don't know. I want to know what is so expensive.
Okay,
what is so expensive
so
that could derail this?
I was on GameStop's website, right? So
There's the problem right there.
yes, but now I mean this is no surprise because fuck video game pre-orders out the ass because the video game industry doesn't know how to handle them. But this game fucked even further by being by Warner Brothers. Shadow of War has.
Oh no.
Have you seen the Mithril edition?
I've heard about this. I've not
Is it
seen
made
it.
of real?
It's
chainmail?
$300.
$300.
$300.
Please tell me it comes with a Mithril shirt.
It comes with a limited edition 12-inch Tar Goroth Balrog versus... What the fuck?
I am very disappointed.
It's two creatures fighting each other, and it's 12 inches tall.
I am not impressed. That is not Mithril shirt.
And it doesn't even function as an amiibo because it's the wrong system.
And it looks like
Completely
it's
worthless.
It looks like it's made of plastic. So, what the fuck? Fuck you, Warner Brothers. So, what games have I been playing? A ton of RPGs, for the most part. Of course, I picked up the new 2DS. I have been extensively playing on that between picking up the first Breath of Fire because it contains the Super Nintendo Virtual Console games, thank God. And I probably will buy most of those eventually at some point. And And other than that, I've also been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3D,
Nice.
which uses the functionality of the new 2DS. I am not the biggest fan of the C-Stick.
Yeah, it's like an old laptop nub.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. I tried it.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly like that. And you have to really crank up the sensitivity to make it workable because it controls the camera, at least in Xenoblade. At initial settings, it's slow. So when you're trying to pan around, it takes its time. So crank that up. It's a little better. Still don't particularly enjoy it. I feel like there's probably a much easier way to do that than what they did. I mean, some of those. I mean, you have 4 buttons at the top. You really did not need a map button. You don't. Some of the buttons you just really didn't need. It was kind of just overkill. But the game itself, I am currently calling SideQuest the video game because Jesus, within the first area alone, I've not even done the first story bit because I keep running into side quests. Go out and kill these monsters. Go out and find this item in the town, which that introduces you to the trading mechanic, because if a character is named, you can trade with them. And I don't particularly understand the trading mechanic. It's something about the value of the item you give them has to be more than the value you receive. I'm like, well, how is that ever going to benefit me?
I don't think it cares if it benefits you.
I guess it doesn't. But yeah, there's that. Of course, you go out and it almost feels like an MMO without being an MMO. A lot of the, especially when you think about the battle engine, that is really like an MMO, because in MMOs you just engage battle and the character just attacks on their own, and every now and then you hit a special ability and that's your instant of your involvement. That's exactly what it's like in this game, and I guess in the rest of the series. When I first tried it out, I wasn't really expecting that, so I was like, how do I attack? Oh, he just starts attacking. At first, I had to figure out how to even engage an enemy, because there's not, you just approaching it doesn't do anything. If they're not hostile, they'll just hop around your ass. You have to target them and then hit a button, which also involves using the top buttons. Let's see. Other than that, the game, I never really got to see it on the Wii, so I don't know graphically how it compares, but it looks just fine on a 2DS. It's kind of interesting to see a game like that on a little handheld. It shows you how far those things have come in the years. But other than that, I picked up a few games. Like I picked up Pandora's Tower for the Wii, the new Torment game for PS4, and the Tales game for PS4. I don't think there's more than one.
Berseria, right?
Yeah, there's only that one, right?
No, there's also Zestiria, and Berseria is a prequel of sorts.
Oh. Well, lovely.
Yeah, so... And apparently Berseria is actually much, much, much better than Zestiria is, even though Zestiria is pretty good.
Okay. I'll eventually get to those. Yeah. But yeah, so... I'm trying to think if there was any other gaming that I've done. That pretty much... is the extent, other than I also picked up the Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii U. Basically, I'm trying to prepare for the new one coming out, but I don't think I'm going to be able to beat both games before it comes out. I don't know if I have that much dedication, because if the rest of the game is anything to explain what the rest of the game is going to be like, I'll be doing side quests for hours. Because there's so many.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a massive game. Both of them are. And I've had the same thought of how am I even going to be able to attempt to finish both of those games in time for the third one, because I'd like to. I'd really like to play through both of those. And then I've got Mario Odyssey coming out at the end of next month that I've already got paid off.
Honestly,
So-
I've come to the conclusion I don't care. I'll pick it up, and it'll just sit here until I get done with the other ones. Even though you don't really have to, because it's not like they're connected or anything. But
I know. I mean, it's just a matter of wanting to have done so before I dive into the next one, if you know what I mean.
you know what I'm saying?
But it's on my list. The thing is, I've also kind of got the issue of wanting to finish.
Bunch of other games.
Well, I'll get to what I've been playing, and that'll explain some of my being overburdened with gaming at the moment. And but I want to finish Xenogears, but Xenosaga as well. So I've got to finish one more game to finish that off.
One more game.
I'd love to be able to finish that game, especially after how much I didn't like Xenosaga 2. And I mean, I expect that Xenosaga 3 is gonna be better than the second one, but I mean, you can only go up really from that game.
Honestly, I could say that this series so far is much better than the Xenosaga stuff.
I did really like the first Xenosaga, but
I mean, I don't know. Part of me still remembers the game back in the day and liking it, but I don't think I would ever want to replay it.
it's. I will put it this way: I get the feeling that I will agree with you through that whole that rose-colored lenses sort of thing. I'm torn. Like there's so much that I like about what Xenosaga does, and also I have that weird appreciation for what it was doing at the time with Japanese role-playing games. Namely, that they were basically movies that eventually you would get to play a little bit. Which that's a lot of Japanese games at that time, because my God, think about the 2 Metal Gear games that came out on the PS2. They are short when you really break them down to just gameplay, and you spend a lot of time staring at cutscenes and conversations in the codec. So, but I get what you mean. But I look upon it fondly and hope that if I ever do decide to replay the game, that second game, that I will find some sort of fresh happiness in it, despite the fact that it's basically a 6-hour game with 15 hours of cutscenes and whatnot. So as for what I've been playing, because I think it's time I do my part, right? I've been playing Mass Effect. I've been playing way more Mass Effect than it's actually sane to play Mass Effect in such a short amount of time. So whenever we last recorded, I still had... How much did I have left, Brandon? Because I finished Mass Effect 1 while you were here, right? Or I got really close to finishing it. I think I had like 2 major story missions left of that game. And then I started Mass Effect 2 and I finished it in 9 days. And I have no regrets about this because it was quite good. Mass Effect 2 was significantly better than Mass Effect 1 in a lot of ways, but now I'm going to piss off most of the internet.
Yeah, because that game got perfect scores.
And here's the thing. It deserves it. It is essentially one of the most completely round and solidly made video games I've ever played. There's nothing about its design that really feels flawed. It is every bit as perfect as its design could be on its own. Now here's why I'm kind of hesitant to say that at times. Whenever you make a sequel, whenever you make an effective quality sequel to a game, The goal is to expand on what was already there, and make it a bigger game, and improve upon the things that didn't work in the first one. So, Mass Effect 2 improves on the combat of Mass Effect 1 by actually making it, good. And that's not to say Mass Effect 1's combat was innately bad exactly. It's just
it wasn't Perfect Dark Zero.
No, it wasn't Perfect Dark Zero. God, no. I can actually play this game and I didn't want to scream at things. But it had that really weird, I've talked about this on the show before, in Fallout New Vegas specifically, you could shoot at things. You could shoot something in the head, but because of RPG mechanics, it doesn't do anything because your scores are not high enough. And I'm sorry, but if you shoot a human being in the skull, they're going to die. And I had a lot of that sort of thing happening with Mass Effect 1 as well. So, go into Mass Effect 2, when you shoot somebody in the head, they drop. And there's still scoring mechanics involved, but they're not as stringent, I guess is a way to put it. So, but where it lacks, where Mass Effect 2 lacks, is that it feels like a smaller game. I mean, it was shorter, yes, but that's not even what I mean. It is not just that it's a game that took me less time to finish, even though it did. It took me about 6 hours less to finish that game than it did Mass Effect 1. But it feels like a smaller... everything about it just feels smaller. The world feels smaller, the segments the story segments feel smaller, and in a way it's a good thing. I don't ever feel like there's no sections of that game where I'm literally just repeating the same ugly little bunker that they threw together and copy and pasted 12 times across the entirety of the game. There's actual design to all of the side missions, unlike the first game. There's a lot that's done right here for the better of making a good game. But I miss things like taking the Mako down to the planets and exploring and finding the side quest, rather than, hey, here's a side quest, fly to the planet and start doing it. Even though I'm alone, I know most people hate the Mako. And I admit it drives like 17 turtles duct taped together and riding on a unicycle. It's pretty awful. But I kind of love it at the same time. I admit its flaws, but I miss it so much in Mass Effect 2 because of what it was in that game. So, yeah, I'm one of those people that really loves Mass Effect 1 for so much of what it does, and also loves Mass Effect 2 for everything that it made better about the overall design of the game. And the writing is actually better in the second game than it is in the first one. The first one was pretty good, but there's more personality to it in the second game. So, I'm now started Mass Effect 3, and my expectations are pretty low. And I don't know, we're going to see how that goes. I'm glad that I'm finally playing these games and that I'm finally giving them the shot that they deserve, because I bought the stupid trilogy set 5 years ago, and then I moved back to North Carolina and haven't played it. So it's finally getting its due. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Actually, I updated to the better ending, but I'm looking forward to seeing the ending that rallied the internet together in rage.
All that time, all those years, for nothing.
All those side quests, and it leads to nothing. I will say, Brandon, when you were describing what I should expect from the side quest stuff, and you said that it doesn't mean anything, I was like, well, damn. I was really worried in Mass Effect 2 that it was going to just be this Oh yeah, nothing mattered about the first game, and I was pleasantly surprised that there was more brought over than I was expecting. I got to see a lot of the NPCs a second time, and that was cool.
I mean, yeah, I mean they show up, but ultimately it doesn't mean anything. It's just like, hey, you remember this character? You helped them out in the first game. They're here. Did they do anything? No, they're just here.
They didn't do anything in the first game either, though, to be fair.
Then why bring them back?
Because it makes the universe that you're in feel cohesive, because those people who are major players are still around and they're still trying to do things in that setting.
The only ones that matter are like that alien race that you had to choose to destroy or let live.
The Rachni.
Yeah, I let mine survive. So seeing them,
Me too.
Yes, that was something to hear about. But ultimately, I wouldn't want to like run into them again just because it doesn't feel like they're trying to make the world cohesive. It feels like sort of like fan service, just like, hey, here's all the stuff you did, we're bringing it back up. It's not going to affect your story any, it's not going to actually broaden your horizons any, it's just here because we're culminating everything you've done. But it ultimately doesn't do anything. If they were to be involved in the final battle, then I would be more accepting, but they're not. They don't do anything.
Okay, see, I would understand. I understand what you're trying to say there. That makes sense. But going to the second game, there is no context for that quote-unquote final battle yet. So whenever I see Conrad Werner acting like a total douchebag at the Ansari world, which one is the name of what's the name of that planet? Ilium.
Well, see,
when you see him on the Ilium,
in the second game, it's fine because everyone thinks you're dead. And to just be going around the universe and you randomly run into these characters, they're like, "You're still alive?" You know,
yeah, because
everyone literally heard that you were dead.
Yeah,
it's just like Snake Plissken.
I heard you were dead.
Yeah, I get that.
That was also a line in Alien Resurrection.
Mm-hmm. But I don't like Resurrection, so
yeah.
Nobody should actually like Resurrection. I kind of begrudgingly enjoy it for how goofy it is. But it's not a good movie.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You are like one of the select few people. I tried rewatching. And I was like, God, what?
It's so dumb.
Fuck?
It's so dumb.
Did they even watch the other films?
It's such a weird movie too.
Yeah, I mean, they have the alien spitting acid.
Yep.
At one point, I'm like,
which is totally not a thing.
Did it have like a mouth ulcer or something so it could?
Yes.
Sure. It has the herpes. Oh, but yeah, I mean, like, for example, whenever you go to Ilium and you see Conrad Werner and he's dressed up like you are, because, in the first game he was the fan. He was the turbo nerd who thought that that Shepard becoming a Spectre was the greatest thing in the world, and everybody should just humanity should be so proud, and he wanted a picture of you, and like he lost his wife as a result of being this crazy person that he is.
It makes you
and
wonder.
He's pushing people around, and
did they?
Because
did they get inspiration from Ultima 9?
Oh man, I hope not, because they pulled it off better than Ultima 9.
From what I hear, that wouldn't take much.
Yeah, it wouldn't, because Ultima 9 is it's a dumpster fire of a game. Must have already done this settlement. No. What was some other ones? So whenever you see like the TV personality who ruined your story and made you look like a total McFly on television.
Did you punch her?
I did not punch her. I could have, but I earned my Paragon.
Totally punched her. I was like, totally worth it.
Like, give me them renegade points.
Yeah. Exactly. I will fully accept those renegade points.
I was really upset that there's not an achievement for maxing out your Paragon in the second game, because I totally maxed out Paragon. I would have role-played more if I had known there was literally no kind of reward for it.
Honestly, that's one of the reasons.
Like, there's no reward for.
That's one of the reasons why
Paragon.
BioWare gets a little bit of a bad rap for their system of good and evil, because ultimately it doesn't amount to anything.
Yeah. Lord. No, so yeah, I'm very impressed with Mass Effect 2. It's pretty much as good as everybody said it was. I still think there are things about the first one that are better, and I know I'm in the minority there. But what breaks my heart is I've been told that with Andromeda, they were trying to bring back those things that were missing from the other two games that people liked about the first one. Like driving the Mako and going to all the planets and doing the stuff. And then that was not in the game in a good way at all. It was really dumpstery as well. But I just blame EA at this point.
It is their fault, and They gave the series off to a company they shouldn't have, because who the fuck knows why. It didn't have anybody related to the original series involved, except for the Mac Walters, who was the writer from Mass Effect 3. So there you go.
Yeah, and he's and I don't know why they would give him a shot, because let's face it, nothing special about his writing in that game.
No,
I swear the pulse of that series really belonged to Drew Karpyshyn. You know, because he wrote the first two games. He wrote the good ones.
Yeah, and the only reason why he didn't do the third one is because they moved him to Knights of the Old Republic. So you can blame that mediocre MMO for subpar third entry.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that, because that never really panned out. Like, that game apparently is not bad, but there's a lot about it that makes me angry too. Like things I've already mentioned about the ethics systems and such.
Well, see, like I said, their ethics systems don't do anything, and they constrict more than they allow for more engaging gameplay.
Right.
But with Andromeda, if the story had been better, a lot of its other problems would have been ignored. But
right.
The story was so piss poor that it didn't matter how much you improved the battle engine; it just didn't matter, And now it's to the point they canceled all DLC, and they don't know if there will be a sequel.
Which is quite the opposite of their original plan, because wasn't there supposed to be like 5 Mass Effect games in this cycle or something?
Maybe.
It was something crazy like that.
The things like they closed down that studio, merged them with Motive Studios. And like, yes, this creates doubt upon the Mass Effect franchise. I was like, no, it doesn't. They're going to do Mass Effect. That there's no way they're not going to try again. That would just be fucking stupid.
Well, until they shutter BioWare completely.
It's like the next thing they're going to pay attention to is Anthem, which you say that, but at the same time, it does have that writer you like so much.
Karpyshyn?
Yeah.
I can't care about it because it looks so Destiny.
That's because it literally is Destiny with added extra features.
With probably better writing, but that's not enough.
Honestly, it's probably going to be like the Destiny we've always wanted. That would be kind of sad.
I still don't want to play that though. If I wanted to play a game where all I do is walk around and shoot things forever and ever and ever and never really have any change in
Well,
in
see,
gameplay.
that's why I said the Destiny we wanted, not the Destiny we got.
But the Destiny but the anthem they're showing is just Destiny so far.
Well, that's because all they want to show is the game. It's just the combat. They don't want to. They're not going to show anything else because that's what people are going to be focused on, I guess. I don't know why they chose to show off what they did. I guess because it showed the most amount of mechanics from the game. So
yeah, I guess, but at the same time, I'm having a hard time believing I'll ever give a crap about it. Maybe it'll come out and somebody will say, "Yeah, this is the game you need to play, Brad, because it's the game you want. It's the super special science fiction hors d'oeuvre dinner that you've always dreamed of." That did not make any sense at all. I am so sorry. But I mean, maybe we'll finally get a game from BioWare that's worth being played again, rather than
at least
Andromeda.
At least in this game, you can do single player if you want. You don't have to go into a squad like in Destiny. So I don't know. Well, it's going to have to wait and see because we ain't gonna get this game until the end of 2018.
Oh no! Yeah. That is quite a wait.
Yeah, I mean, what? The game I want ain't gonna come out until the year after that. So,
true. I don't know. Having a hard time being excited about no matter how I try and wrap my brain around it, I cannot get excited about it. Sort of like I can't get excited about playing Fallout 4 tonight.
Honestly, I don't like Fallout 4 all that much. If you want to talk about, I did give Bethesda a little bit of credit for the fact that with every single entry, they may not, push the boundaries of mechanics, but they always did broaden the games. They made writing a little better. They made the combat a little better. But in Fallout 4, it all feels like the same while taking a step back because they've removed a lot of the RPG elements for this streamlined skills system that sucks.
Yeah.
And they didn't improve on anything. Instead, they shoehorned in this, hey, you want to build a town? Well, here's this really shitty, not very well thought out building mechanic that sucks. If I've not said that yet, it sucks.
It's cumbersome, to be sure.
So I don't know. They really, for the length of time between 3 and this one, there was absolutely no reason to get as little advancement as we got, which was none.
Right. I think my issue is that I don't know. I'm not engaged with it at all. It's
boring.
It's okay. It's an okay game, but here's the problem. As far as the Bethesda style Fallouts go, New Vegas is still the best, and Bethesda didn't make that one. Obsidian did. They made the Fallout game that I liked enough that I put up with some of its more frustrating design elements, and I finished it. That is the only Bethesda-style role-playing game I've ever gone to the end with, and that is worth noting to me because, frankly, I just it's so hard for me to stick with a Bethesda-style role-playing game, and I know that there are people who think that they make the best games and the best role-playing games and the best open worlds, but they really don't.
No, I mean there's tons of better companies.
They make fine sandboxes in that there's
Yeah.
a ton of stuff you can do, and it gives you a lot of free reign to do all the stuff that you want to do. Like
Honestly,
if you want to go and
if
chop
you-
down trees, you have the option.
If
But-
you really think about the history of Bethesda games, they've actually, what was it, Daggerfall? You could literally do a hell of a lot more in Daggerfall than you can in Skyrim.
Yep. For better and for worse, you can do more in Daggerfall than in Skyrim.
Yeah.
because that game is it's a little unwieldy in its size. There's no way to see all of that game in all realism. Like, that is a big friggin' game. I mean, isn't it still one of the largest world maps of any game in history?
Yeah. But
It's
that was back
1,000 square miles or something.
Yeah, that was back when they were more focused on D&D style than what they eventually turned into.
Right.
But I mean, but Obsidian has a much longer history of producing better story-oriented content. Aside from Alpha Protocol, I don't know what the fuck happened with Alpha Protocol, but the rest of their stuff is pretty damn good. You know, I love Knights of the Old Republic 2. Neverwinter Nights 2 is great. I don't know if I could say it's better than the first one because I never finished it.
I never finished that one either, and I need to.
But their more recent stuff, Pillars of Eternity, I love it. It's great. It's very much, you know, back in the day of their that damn fucking shit. What the fuck is the name of that damn series they did for PC back in the day?
Did they do Icewind Dale, or I thought that was BioWare?
Yes, Icewind Dale and Baldur's Gate.
Right. I thought those were both Black Isle titles, though.
They were Black Isle.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That's why I say they have a much larger history of creating story-oriented games in these big, massive open worlds.
And again, I stand. Fallout used the open world that it made much more effectively and far more interestingly. I'm sorry, like, the plot of Fallout 3. Go and find your dad. Fallout 4. Go and find your son. In New Vegas, it was go and find the guy who left you for dead in a shallow grave in Las Vegas.
And find out why.
Yes, and then take over Vegas
if you
in a way of your choosing. Yeah, if you want to, you can completely take over Vegas, but you do it your way. And there's a lot of different ways to end that game.
You do it your way? So
he did it his way.
So it's just a gigantic McDonald's commercial?
No. It's like that clown song.
It's like a Frank Sinatra song.
Yeah.
As used in the new Kingsman trailers.
I need to see that movie.
So do I.
All I had to say is Elton John.
Elton John?
Yep. Elton John.
Yep. I had heard about that.
Yeah, Elton John's fantastic. In so
I have not heard about this.
So
please,
many ways.
Please do not spoil it. I need to experience this the right way.
Yes.
Whenever I finally get my Movie Pass card and go see it. I hope the Movie Pass card's coming soon.
You haven't gotten that thing?
No, we have not gotten our stupid Movie Pass card yet, and I want it bad. They are killing us, man. So, yeah.
So you played Mass Effect?
No, we were on Fallout.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not just the only stuff that's missing from Fallout nowadays. So I want to echo on this because Fallout 1 turns 20 this weekend. Tomorrow, as of when we are recording. Saturday the 30th, I guess, is when Fallout 1 came out way back in 1997. And it's not even like the first one and the third through fourth one are not even recognizable next to each other anymore. And that's unusual and upsetting, kind of, because there will always be people who think that the first two are better than the other ones, and then there are people who never played a damn PC game in their life who will say that 3 and so on are much better because they're action games. And I feel like a lot of I feel like there's some stuff that's lost in translation and not as good about the Bethesda stuff.
Oh yeah, you definitely lose quite a bit when you Bethesda it up. It
When you Bethesda'd it.
Yeah, when you try to take Bethesda and make it into an adjective. Honestly,
Yeah,
I remember when they first said Bethesda got a hold of the Fallout series. I was like, what the fuck is that going to be? And then they showed the pictures. I was like, that's not Fallout. What are they doing? And
They made it very green.
And when I finally played it, they do, at least with the Fallout 3, they did get the feel, but
they sort of get the feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's not completely there. They tried to include all the different facets from the Fallout series, because, I mean, originally it was a tactical RPG.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They tried.
That means I'd have never played it.
I mean, it's not the same tactical.
In all seriousness, Fallout 1 and 2 are not. They're not like strategy RPGs like Final Fantasy Tactics, but they are definitely smarter than me.
It's like you walk around like a normal RPG until you get into a battle, which then turns into you walk a few steps. You basically have like a number of little dots, and the dots could basically say what you can do, how many actions you have, certain motions.
So it's more like chess.
Sort of.
It's an interesting hybrid to describe. Brandon, tell me this. Sorry to interrupt, but I want to know this. Is your love for the original Fallout games part of the reason you hate Final Fantasy Tactics?
Oh God, no. I played Tactics long before I played Fallout.
Okay. I was just curious because there's an interesting correlation between those two things.
I mean, in 97,
in terms of
when did Tactics come out?
97?
Yeah, 97.
Well, see, I didn't have a PC in 97, so I didn't play Fallout 1 and 2 until much later.
You didn't play those until we were in high school and Kmart closed.
Yeah.
And you bought the collection.
Yeah. That was a good buy.
I remember that.
But, no, my hatred...
We bought some really good stuff at that Kmart closing.
Yeah, my hatred for Tactics is a creation from the game itself, and just the game itself.
Okay. I didn't know if that had evolved at some point.
No.
Because of playing a game like that where you get the thing that you say you want from Tactics, which is the ability to go and roleplay and explore and do stuff. And also have that combat, sort of.
It's like I don't mind the combat in the first two games because it's like you walk around. I want to attack that thing. You attack. There's really not a lot of strategy involved. Just hope you don't die.
Yeah, it's more of a I don't want to lose kind of tactic, and that's what quick save was invented for.
Yeah.
Anybody who's ever beaten Fallout 1 and 2 without using quick save at all are the most impressive people I've ever met, because I couldn't get out of the training tutorial in Fallout 2 without quick saving. That's how hard I had it with that game when I tried to play it.
I mean, just if you want to talk more about why New Vegas is so good, even the people involved in the original Fallout made New Vegas. That there is no better studio to do Fallout than Obsidian, based on the pedigree that's involved with the company.
Given the goodwill towards New Vegas from the fan point of view at this point, one wonders why they haven't given them all of the stuff they did with Fallout 4 and said, "Hey, pull a New Vegas out of your ass. We want this. Bring it on."
I don't know why. I mean, you would think they would, just so they could have more games out instead of every 5 to 8 years. It feels like. I know it may not be that long, but it's what it feels like sometimes.
They do have one of the longest development cycles of any studio in existence. They make Square look fast by comparison.
It was 5 years from New Vegas to Fallout 4. because I'm looking at it now, and it was 2 years between Fallout 3 and New Vegas.
They also had that juggernaut called Skyrim in there too.
Yeah, that's not on this timeline, so I don't know the year of its release, but I know it was between New Vegas and Fallout 4, of course. But still, so see, 2008. So when did Skyrim?
Which I'm surprised they're not trying to. I'm surprised they're not trying to milk Fallout to death like they were Skyrim.
Well, Skyrim's honestly, as most of people like the the Fallouts, they like Elder Scrolls more. 2011. So almost
2011.
Yeah, almost 4 years between 3 and Skyrim. And now they're not even. As far as I can tell, they're not even close to starting development on the new Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls.
So I don't know what they're doing.
I do imagine they're going to take their time. I think they're going to take their time making that one and actually possibly do a new engine, since I can imagine they're tired of getting criticized for using that clunky old thing that they made for Oblivion, whatever it was called. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Oblivion. I can't believe it's been that damn long.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's been even longer, considering. I mean, I can't look up. I know that there's a name for that tool set.
11 years.
Yep, and it looks like it's 11 years old.
It looks like Gamebro, but I know it's not. BRYO.
Gamebryo.
Gamebryo.
Yeah, Gamebryo. That's exactly what it is.
God.
They're still using like a modified version of that or something like that.
That's a long time of using one single engine.
I mean, if you modify an engine enough, you can get away with using the same engine forever and ever. Amen. But they haven't modified it enough, and Fallout 4 only looks slightly cleaner than New Vegas. Oh my lord!
Did they ever fix all the glitches and bugs in New Vegas and 3?
That's cute, Trent. You think that they cared about fixing their bugs?
That's like one of the few companies that doesn't get attacked for their bugs. It's like, yeah, they're bugs, but really no one says anything.
I think it's just because everybody's like consigned to their fate.
So they're not game-breaking.
It depends on what console you're playing on.
Yeah, Fallout New Vegas was almost unplayable on the PS3, simply because of the. Yeah, it's because they have the same problem, and that's that they have a memory leak. As your save file gets bigger, it crashes more frequently because it has a hard time handling the size of your save file.
And eventually it just doesn't load anymore.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, I never got that far, but yeah, it can literally just ruin your game to play it for too long.
I mean, I own New Vegas and Fallout 3 now on the 360. Haven't even put them in the game system yet, but...
In all seriousness, play New Vegas. You will have a blast as long as you can get into the vibe of it. Especially once you reach New Vegas itself, that game becomes an utter blast. I loved that game. The one thing I don't like about it, the thing that's most frustrating, is how much it relies on your decision to deal with certain factions and how you interact with them. Mm-hmm. Because you can screw yourself so hard by siding with certain factions at certain times. And okay, so I know I've told this story on the show before, but I'm going to tell you again because consider it a cautionary tale for yourself this time, Trent.
Okay.
So I allied myself with the NCR purely on the grounds that they had resources that were good, and also they were nice and organized and directly in the middle of the main map. And Caesar's Legion was not directly in the middle of the map, therefore not as much of an immediate threat to deal with. Until I sided with the NCR. And then they became the most horrific jerks on a regular basis. Like they would like rally together and come charging up the road to find me, and it's like they did not die easy. I had to break out rocket launchers to do damage because no other gun would hurt them. It was embarrassingly bad how hard of a time I had playing that game purely because of Caesar's Legion. There was one point in the game where I literally had to go through a canyon where there were oh god, what are the horrible mutants called that can completely ruin you? No, they're not super mutants. They're some other sort of thing like that, but they're not super mutants. The night something.
Night Stalkers? No, Night Stalkers.
Yes.
Are they Night Stalkers?
Are they Night Stalkers?
They're the big beasts, right?
Yeah. Well, anyway, Night Stalkers complete. Like, I had to go near a Night Stalker encampment just to get anywhere in the game.
Is it Deathstalker?
I can't remember. It's been so long.
Deathstalkers. Yep, they're the big gigantic creatures with claws that will fuck you up.
Yep, that's them. I had to go through their encampment and not get caught to get somewhere in the game, to get to Vegas the first time, because on the road to Vegas I would always get stopped by the Centurions and they ruined me.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough going. I don't know how I ended up beating the game, but I never dropped the difficulty, which is something I'm kind of proud of here. A year later, I really liked that game. I thoroughly enjoyed New Vegas, and that's why I would love to see more from Obsidian in this case. But speaking of Obsidian, somebody recently said, "Why isn't there a sequel to Alpha Protocol?" Brandon.
Who said this? Why the fuck would you even mention that? God.
I saw it on Infra-G.
What are you, at cruising for a bruising? What the fuck is wrong with you? No. No. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what happened with that game, because literally pretty much everything else they've ever done has been really good. For whatever reason, that one just blew up in their faces.
I want to play it. I want to play it and see what it is going on there.
Bad.
But I'd have to buy a copy.
It's bad. It's cheap.
I gathered. Is it cheap?
Yeah, it's cheap. I
How
think
cheap is
I think
cheap?
it was cheap when I bought it. I think it was like $5 when I bought it.
I thought you pre-ordered that game.
Did I?
Yeah, I think you paid the $60
I don't
for it.
know. No, I ended up not doing it because they kept pushing it off, and eventually I was like, "Well, this game's never fucking coming out," and I dropped the pre-order.
I feel like you got it really early on though, or maybe it just dropped in price that fast.
It's $2.99.
PS3 or Xbox?
Xbox.
Is there a PS3 version? I don't remember.
Maybe it has something to do because it's Sega. Sega was involved. Let's blame it on Sega. Fuck Sega. Yes, there's a PS3 version, and it's also $2.99.
Well, I'm just gonna have to find me a copy, Brandon, and see what is going on there, because I mean, it sounds like such a cool game, an RPG shooter where you're a spy.
What doesn't make any sense is it has a very positive rating on PC.
What?
I don't know. Really? Yes, I'm on Steam right now because I saw that it had over 2,000 reviews and all of them positive. I'm like, who the hell is playing this game and why are they giving it good reviews?
You see, I mean, maybe there's something good in there that we don't know about. How much did you play it?
I don't remember. Dude, this has been so long, I don't remember.
Yeah, we were still living together.
His answer is entirely too much.
Yeah, I mean, this was 7 years ago when the damn thing came out.
Man, I feel old now. So anyway, in the not feeling old category, I didn't play Ultima Online until recently, and it's 20 years old now.
What's recently?
I played it last year. I tried out a free server last year.
Okay.
That game is so it's getting a free-to-play version called Endless Journey, and this is to celebrate its legacy, and it's going to come with everything up to the Stygian Abyss expansion. And that's a whole lot of video game for free there. And I mean, of course, there's going to be some free-to-play garbage kind of like packaged in on it because it's EA, and of course they're going to. They got to keep making money on that 20-year-old game that worked just fine on 56K dial-up, you know? So here's the thing I'm kind of wondering about is, like, I cannot believe that they still have enough subscribers to the original game to warrant charging the $15 a month that it still costs.
I can't believe I can't believe the servers are still up.
I mean, maybe it's a legacy thing, sort of like. But then again, isn't EverQuest offline now, like the original EverQuest?
Is it?
I don't know. I mean, I seem to think that it eventually.
It did. Yeah, no, that's Mac. Is it still going?
Well, EverQuest? I mean, you're looking right now. You would be able to tell better than me.
Yeah, but I don't see anything about it ending.
Huh.
Decline. Sony saw the rights.
Sony sold the rights to EverQuest.
Hell, they released a new expansion in 2015.
Let no game go into the dark.
Yeah, that game's still going. It's another company is running it, I guess. But yeah, but Ultima Online is 20 years old.
Yep. EverQuest's only 18. I think it came out in 99, right?
Wow.
It's legal now.
Yeah, but neither of them can drink. And I swear, I'm pretty sure that I'm sure Ultima Online could use a drink after its history. Brandon and I've kind of on and off talked about playing it, though. That's the really funny thing.
Now that
we both
with it's being free.
Well, I mean, it's free when you play a free server. It's just this version's free, and I'm wondering how much more it's updated than the free ones are, because I swear I cannot get around the interface of the original.
Well, you should play the enhanced version, see how that gets you.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, is this a thing we're going to try at some point?
Once the free thing comes out, I mean, I want to play on. I don't want to sit here and try to. I guess it must not be that hard to play on a custom server.
Oh no, it's simple. Like, I've probably got my access to one of them on my computer right now in a folder. Because I mean, I downloaded a client that's specifically for it. So interesting though that this is a game we're still talking about after 20 years, not in just a historical context, but that game is still online and playable. And I know a degree of that has to go with how vast and massive the Ultima fan base is in terms of its obsession. Because Ultima fans are... They're one of the oldest online communities. And not only are they one of the oldest online communities, they're also one of the most obsessive and dedicated to their game. Going so far as to being, well, let's be honest, a bit pretentious about their love for it. So, the case in point, whenever it was even mentioned that the new one, Shroud of the Avatar, might get a console port, they're like, they basically acted like, oh, these filthy casuals, they don't want to play this kind of role-playing game. This isn't like a console RPG. They wouldn't want anything to do with that. It's like, I mean, give console players some credit. They'll try stuff, But that just did not sit well with them that I said such a thing. So they're defensive about their series, and they want it to be exactly what it is forever, and that's why they'll keep this. I don't know if they've improved the UI over time, but man, I'll tell you, Brandon, you're going to be when you find if you play the original, or at least as a version like I played. I don't know how to do anything in that game. I don't. And I've tried talking to NPCs to find quests and stuff, and I never figured it out at all. So I was going somewhere with this. Where was I going? Yeah, it'd be interesting to it's interesting that this game is still around given the lack of ease of entry in terms for new players. That means probably this game still got people who've literally put over $1,000 into their subscription costs over time, because they probably still got their original houses from the first game. So yeah, that's just interesting. So yeah, cool thing that it's still around, and odd that it's only just now getting a free-to-play version. So that. All right. So Tokyo Game Show was last week. The thing that we didn't really ever get a chance to talk about, going missing last week. Did you guys see anything at all that you thought was interesting at TGS?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
Well, there's one reason for that. In particular, nothing was announced. I don't feel like anything interesting was actually announced at the entirety of TGS. There were no surprises, no special trailers. Actually, there was one surprise that was kind of interesting, and everything else was just nothingness. It was empty air. And the most interesting thing I heard about was the game that's in the new game in the Front Mission universe, which I just completely blanked on the name of.
Left Alive?
Yes, Left Alive. Sorry, I knew it was a survival-y title. So Left Alive, big mechs from the Metal Gear artist Joji Shinkawa, and it's set in the Mass Effect universe. That's kind of cool.
It's what?
It's set in the not Mass Effect. God. Front Mission.
I was like, excuse me? It's set in the Mass Effect universe? Really?
God, I've been playing too much Mass Effect, clearly.
Excuse me? Baking powder?
Did you say $10,000 for $5,000? Oh, yeah, I think that was the most interesting thing. Also, odd move. That was a surprise from Square. It was the only surprise they really had, because what they should have announced was, hey, we got a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 or Final Fantasy 7. We have something to show you that people are really asking for. But instead, they got us a new.
I mean, the PlayStation experience is only a couple of months away. Why waste it?
Is it even months away? Isn't it next month?
December.
I thought that was an October thing for some reason. Why do we have to wait for December, man? I want to see some big announcements, and Sony hasn't had a very good year for big announcements.
Honestly,
no one has.
That's because they only do it at the PlayStation experience. Like last year, we heard about all the big titles are coming out for this year, and at the experience, and they came out, and now we're just waiting for the next experience to find out what's coming out next year.
Yeah, but at least they had something at E3 in 2016.
What they have?
Now it's. I'd have to go and look to
I think
see,
Horizon was their biggest thing.
And it was at E3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that was their biggest thing.
So, but at least they had something. This year they had nothing.
Hey, they had that biker zombie game.
Like I said, they had zilch. They had one of the most boring open world games I've seen in a long time. More zombies, game.
Whoa. They are creating a Ubisoft game.
Oh, that's funny because I'm playing Assassin's Creed right now.
You are? When did we switch to that?
You're supposed to be monitoring our chat, and you didn't know that I had switched to that.
We're talking about Fallout. Your ass is playing fucking Assassin's Creed.
To be fair, I was playing Doom by the time we finished talking about Fallout.
Doom, Jesus.
I also played some Doom, yes.
Stick with a game!
Which Doom?
I'd like to, but I'm having a hard time sticking with anything.
So did you switch it out about the time when you said, and I'm not really getting into Fallout 4?
Hell, it still shows you playing Doom. Oh, now it's switched. What is going on?
Don't you mean now it switched?
I'm not playing the Switch. Although Doom is going to the Switch.
Yeah.
But we talked about that on the last podcast.
Yeah, that we never posted.
Oh my god, I didn't, did I? I'm the worst when it comes to getting our show online. I'm really good at preparing for a show. I'm not really good at releasing a show.
Oh, this is Assassin's Creed. This is Pirates, the video game.
Yeah, this is Pirates of the Stabby Bean here.
Yeah.
I have that game. Have not played it yet.
Yeah, as you can see, I haven't played it either because this is the beginning.
I mean,
I forgot. I forgot to say what games I played this week.
That's because Brad, hijacked the conversation for the past hour.
Oh, really? It's my fault.
Yeah, it is. Mister, I want to talk about Fallout.
Well, I also want to talk about Mass Effect, so I wanted to talk about AAA games. Oh, you know what? We never had an opportunity to talk about the most ridiculous news in gaming as of late. And it's not on our list, so I'm going to bring this one up real quick. It's been covered to death and been talked about by everybody under the sun except for us, so it's our turn, I think. NBA 2K18. Sports games.
Oh.
Yearly, annual releases that still cost $60, even though it's just a tiny bit of features and graphics upgrades, and then maybe they just throw in some stuffs.
And next year will be sold at GameStop in their $10 bin.
Yes, exactly. Actually, some of those damn games are like $30 still.
When I went the other day, they had last year's games for like $5.
Wow. You see, I've not seen that because I looked at PS4 launch Madden is still $10 used.
That's funny.
That's absurd.
Last year's Madden is only $1.
Are you serious?
I'm fairly sure it was because I was looking at GameStop buy two get one, and that was like one of the first games that popped up for PS4 used, and it's only a bloody $1.
Oh man, I'm going to GameStop tomorrow.
Oh,
I need to
I'm sorry. It was Madden 15. So 2 years ago.
Well, I mean, clearly I don't care.
Yeah.
I want an old Madden game for if I ever want to play a round of football.
Football.
So you can be ready for some football.
I don't think I'm ready for football anymore.
Yes, NBA 2K16 is only $5.
Wow.
Yeah, and GameStop does have a sale going on this weekend.
Yeah.
So I could go get all three of them for less than $10, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it'd be fairly cheap.
I say
Is
that,
is FIFA one of the games?
Only if you can get a used copy, and nobody's going to trade their copy of FIFA in. Well, anyway, I
don't see any cheap FIFA games, so.
Oh.
Well, that's because
people who play. That's because people who play real football take their sports games seriously.
That's right.
So, NBA 2K18. So, this game has garnered quite a bit of controversy as of late for the very simple fact that it's a $60 game with an absurd over-reliance on microtransactions. I have not played this game myself. I've not looked into the microtransactions either because, in all seriousness, who cares about NBA 2K18 except for people who like basketball games? And in this case, I'm only really upset because they're getting screwed, from what I understand. One website,
Is this an EA game?
no, it's a 2K sports game.
Oh.
This one site went so far as to give this game a 3 out of 10 because it was so over-reliant on microtransactions for its gameplay. 2K had the balls to go after them and tell them to pull their review off the net because it was not a fair review.
I hope they laughed at them in response.
Oh no, they pulled the score down.
What?
Yeah.
I guess they're because they want to keep getting games to review from this company.
Oh, they eventually reinstated it after they made sure that 2K was aware that, hey, we gave this game a bad score because of your crappy microtransactions. This was not a mistake. It was so this debacle has been very loud, and it raises the question once again: why, oh why, oh why are $60 games coming with nickel and diming microtransactions to, and in a sports game of all things? What are you paying for?
Honestly, it's just something that's been building up because EA's been putting microtransactions in their shit for a while.
Yeah, they have those stupid cards and all that garbage, right?
And there are people who are addicted to those things.
Yeah, I know. That's how Joe got hacked that time. It was so weird. Like the hack happened, and the day that it happened, I realized that, oh look, my account has FIFA on it. I don't have FIFA. Did Jeremy play my Xbox for some reason? Does he had
like
not.
FIFA?
I mean, I don't know, but he likes sports games, so it seemed, reasonable to suspect, And I got 2 achievements out of that person scamming my wife for $300.
Were they at least high-numbered achievements? Like, they give you a lot of points?
No, they were not. I got 10 gamer score for that $300 they stole from us.
Lame sauce.
Jerks. But, okay, so here's the thing. Microtransactions in Assassin's Creed. Dumb. Really dumb. Offensively stupid. Why do we need this thing in this game? But at the same time, some people suck at video games and would not mind paying $10 for some points so that they can get better weapons right out of the gate. That is a thing. I am not that person. I think that's kind of lame. But sports games. I don't see a benefit here. The card thing doesn't even make sense to me. Nothing about this sounds like a legitimate benefit that is worth me putting $20 in 2K or EA Fun Bucks on my account to waste on some digital goodies or whatever. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm not the right market for that, or maybe I'm just not stupid enough. Who knows? But it is terrifyingly sad to me that a proper journalistic review got pulled off the net because somebody felt upset that they called them out on their crap. And that sucks. That is a horrifying and sad thing. But I digress. We have I think we got one more here on the queue, and this one's another sad farewell, but it's a farewell that's still a year and a half away. And one I'm kind of stunned by. I thought that this had already happened. So the Wii Shop channel is finally going to be closed down in 2019. This is a thing that I thought was already closed. Dead serious.
Before then, we get the stupid Weverse or the Miiverse taken down like next month or the month after that.
Which is crazy that a newer service is going to go away long before the Wii eStore closes down. You can't even buy a new Wii anymore, but you can still buy games on its service. I don't even know where you'd go to buy a points card for the Wii, because they never converted to the to actual cash currency. They still had the points thing.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's pretty stunning. What's really funny, when I think, Brandon, you sent the news story, right? Or was it Trent?
That was me.
I didn't.
Okay, so when Brandon sent the news story out, I thought it was really funny that the tag for the article was that that shop channel music will live on in our memories forever. And as soon as I read that, I was like, dun, 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 dun. I lament this. I also lament not having bought more eShop games.
Why?
Whenever
Because at this stage you'd be losing them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but they had that was the best virtual console library, and why it never didn't directly connect over to the Wii U is astonishing. Like, those games should just be available. I don't know why they started the entire library over again.
I don't know why, because it's Nintendo.
Nintendo does all sorts of really weird
crap. And they've never been able to. I don't know why they haven't been able to understand online. It's not like you can't hire people to help with these things.
Yeah, I mean, and they sort of have now.
Well, supposedly, I still haven't seen anything.
Well, we haven't seen them launch anything, and also they haven't said anything. They've got 2 months left. 3 months left to make clear their online plans, because they said their online goes fully live in 2018. So where's it at? You know?
Well, when in 2018?
Yeah, when? They need to make this stuff clear and done already.
Abstergo.
Abstergo. I don't know what I'm doing. This is a really weird interface, and it's also first person right now. And because I'm not listening to the dialogue and I don't have stuff turned on, I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, I think that is it for this episode. Unless Trent wants to pop in with what he played this week, since I interrupted. And
just very quickly, I played some Super Mario 3D World and Super Mario 3D Land. Different systems, different games, same,
same design concept.
Yeah. Both of them I like quite a bit.
Yeah, I like Mario 3D World so much that I hate that I haven't played through and beaten all of Mario 3D Land / I don't own it even.
I'm trying to get through a world on Super Mario 3D Land a day. So I'm on World 4 now.
Very nice. It took me about a month of non-stop play to get through everything I got through in 3D World. That is a big and incredibly challenging game.
Wow.
It's very good though, and I posted in your Facebook post about it that there's a way to get 1,200 lives.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'll need it.
You'll need it. You'll need it so bad, especially for stuff like the horrible little level where you have to ride that stupid walrus or whatever.
Oh yeah, I saw a video review of the game that showed that. Yeah.
Eat Fishy Joe's. Ride the walrus.
It's annoying.
It is incredibly annoying, and you have to get those 3 stars, and that's not easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, you go into level 2 or whatever, the one that's in underground, and you grab a turtle shell, and you go between a wall, like 2 walls, or like a pipe and a wall, and square yourself up really nice so it'll just bounce back and forth between the 2 spots. Throw it and jump and just bounce on the shell. and let your timer run out doing that. And you'll get an extra life for every time you do that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'll definitely use that.
Yeah, because I mean, it's every single game in the series comes with. I mean, it has a thing like that.
Yeah.
To kind of help you get by, as it were.
Well, I mean, on 3D Land, I'm up to World 4, and I've got 50-something lives.
Nice.
It almost feels a little handicapped.
I mean, it might be because it was one of those early 3DS games.
Also, I'm used to the original Super Mario where, they didn't give one-ups that much.
Yeah, Mario Land was not the hardest game in the world, but it could be challenging.
And I'm not using walkthroughs. And I'm getting, when I say I'm up to World 4, I've been getting all the stars on each one. So, it takes a while.
Well, yeah.
I also started Xenoblade Chronicles X. And by started, I mean I'm still in the prologue, because I think the prologue might take a few hours.
No, the prologue's not too bad. It's not short by any means, but
I'm in the ship thing. You know.
Oh, in the town.
Yeah.
That means you're almost out of the prologue.
Okay.
And then you go into the part of the game that I'm still in, the first area, which is big.
The first time I started playing it, I'd come up across these monsters, and you'll have level 15 monsters right beside level 3 ones.
Yep.
So, and I'm still at level 2. I'm at level 4 now, but at the time I was at level 2, and so I got my ass beaten quite a bit. Not to mention the fact I didn't know how the battle system worked. I now know how that works. So I'm doing quite a bit better now. But yeah, it's a fun game. It's a beautiful game to look at, too.
Oh yeah, it's a gorgeous game. I love the design of it. The only thing that I really am not a big fan of is the little quests you do for the townspeople. Mm-hmm. And they're important that you do them. They're just a bit fetch questy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's like in the first one.
I'm gonna have a hard time getting through all 3 of those games by year's end.
But yeah, I'm really liking the Wii U that I bought. I have, I bought 2 of the 2 HD remasters of Zelda games that are on the system, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I have not played either one of them. I've been watching my sister play Wind Waker a little bit, and I'm not a big fan of that game.
What, Wind Waker?
Yeah, I know a lot of people call it one of the best Zelda games there is. It's too cartoony for me. That's the only reason. Way too cartoony.
In all seriousness, that is one of the charms of it for me, and also the expression that it adds is a huge part of how you actually get through some of the combat.
What do you mean?
Okay, so the further you get in the game and the more elaborate the combat sequences get, and sometimes the fighting gets really technical, mm-hmm. the enemies all telegraph the attacks they're about to do. And because they have such vibrant facial expressions allowed by the cartooniness of the graphics, mm-hmm. you'll know what their attack is about to be, and you can get an upper hand on them in combat.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm just not a fan of the art style at all.
Oh, I mean that's fair. It's a very good game though. The actual game design is top notch, except for the sailing. But
in the remaster they've given you a faster sail. So
That's good because it's slow in the original.
Yeah.
Twilight Princess, though. Twilight Princess is probably my favorite classic Zelda game.
I hear that it's quite divisive, actually.
It is. And part of
Some
that
people
is...
think it's too dark.
Oh no, how dare it be dark. I love the art style myself. I like the setting, I like the story, it's very good.
Yeah, and one of these days I'll buy Skyward Sword, but it's so expensive.
What, it's $60?
Well, I mean, for a used Wii game, I mean, they don't have an update for it for the Wii U. They never got around to it. And also it used the Wiimote a little too much to possibly do that. It was very motion based.
Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
For some reason, my brain went my brain went a different direction. I thought you were talking about
Breath of the Wild. Oh no, I plan to get that one too, since that is on the Wii U.
Yep. And it's so good, says the guy who still hasn't done the final dungeon yet.
And since I'll probably not get a Switch for another year or two, just based on how slow the games are coming out. The good ones, anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, by the end of the year, I'm just like, oh, Zelda and Mario, that's all I want.
I've got quite a library of Switch games. There's some really good stuff on the system.
And now that I can find a Switch very easily, because the local GameStops here have numerous Switches available. So I wish it was that way with the SNES Classic. Sort of.
Whoa, we're not going to talk about that thing. There's harsh feelings, and we've beaten that horse to death.
Right. And I wasn't, and it doesn't really bother me. So
now that said, Brandon's going to bring his to my house next time he visits.
Yes.
So
I will bring a photo.
I will stab you in the throat.
And I will make sure that I am in the video, the photo playing it.
Playing Star Fox 2?
Yeah.
Man, who needs enemies with friends like that, right?
You're damn right.
Yeah, I think that's all the games I played. I bought a lot, but haven't played much. With work, it is hard to find time to play.
I know that's like, although I've played way too much in the past couple weeks.
Okay, I'll put it this way: between work and reading, it's hard.
Speaking of that, I think it is time that we end this show because we got to record another one.
It's time to switch.
Oh. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to our show, and if you've been watching live, thank you for putting up with my constant roulette of games that I have been going through tonight. Well, we will hope you will join us here on YouTube and on Podbean again next week for another show, because we do these every week, including on the YouTube.
Try to.
Well, yeah, we do them every week whenever people aren't traveling for reasons and stuff. So, again, you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter at ZTriggerLive, and on Podbean and on YouTube as well. Please subscribe. Do that all kind of lovely stuff, because that's important to the health of our show, especially now that YouTube has told us that they're not going to give us money at all until we get a lot more views. We like views as a result of this. As I play Assassin's Creed poorly, I'm begging for views.
A view to a kill?
An assassin's view to a kill?
Yeah.
That would be much better, I think, than Pirates Assassin's Creed.
Oh, I don't know. That movie was pretty horrible.
Yeah, but it had Christopher Walken as a villain, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah, but it had Grace Jones naked.
Oh, for Queen and Country, James. Oh, Kitty's gonna hate that we made this joke again. All right, everybody. Thank you again, and have a great week. Good night.
Later.
Be seeing you.